now for example we want to do some debugging tool. This is quite very helpful when we encounter some errors and want to do what's going around inside. So how do we install or use any do debugging for a particular function? So maybe I can start with, for example, I want to start a new Python file here, and we'll give it a name hello. It already add the extension hello.py. Now let's create a small function. So it's not a tutorial for creating a function, but just for a sake. So for example, we want to get the max of max number between two lists. So for example, mass list, this is just an example name, arr1, then arr2, and then what we want to get the max between two number. So let's see, we want simply return, we just want to have array x equals to, just for the simplicity, array max1, y equals to max array 2, and then we just are going to return max x comma y, and we will just call this function from here, max list, and give it some arrays list number, and then again another list numbers. Now we want to get, when we run this project, you can see we get 421, but suppose we want to do some kind of debugging here, right? So what we want to see, so if you can see here, it's a tag and bug kind of icon there. You can do debugging from there. How we do that? We just on a freestyle basis, we just add a mark there and start the debugging tool. So just start debugging, it will stop at that moment. You can check the variables what is there. So you can see x at that moment is 421, right? And then, but why this line is still not executed, that's why we still don't have the y value, right? So suppose we want to manipulate this, right? So at the time of debugging, we want to check some kind of value by editing those array values or editing a particular value. So here we can maybe try to edit the x value, right? So if we set the value of x to be maybe 3, right? So x is modified to 3. Now we will get the output here as 35. No, before we were getting the output 421, here we get output 335. So we will do show. Now it will execute. We go to console. You see the output is 35, even though we had the max of the tool list is 421, because we modified our y value at the end manually, right? So this is how a debugging tool is very helpful in various projects and very large scale projects. This is very helpful. For some Windows users, I am using Linux, and for some Windows users, sometimes they want to a desktop entry. They don't want to open PyCharm from directly executing the exe file, so they can directly go to tools, create desktop entry. Once you do that, it will create a desktop entry. You can directly start from there. It's very helpful for Windows users. Also, I also would like to share some tips for Git. It can be very helpful when sometimes you want to commit or restore the changes. So first of all, we will start with Git. How can we initialize the Git repository? It's a very short one. So if we go, I'll want to create a repository name, for example, basic PyCharm. So it's available at a readme file, and then the repository we're gonna create. Okay, this is the repository, and what we're gonna do here we're gonna initialize our Git repository. Now the Git is initialized. We will add git remote add origin. We will copy this directly from here, this repo. Okay, git status. Oh, this usually is initialized, and we are tracking our file here, right? Now what we gonna do, suppose we have added a couple of changes, right? So instead of 2 lists we want to have 3 lists, right? Z equals to max of okay. So what we want to do, we want to completely revert these things. So before doing that, we will commit this file and then we can do that. So after this, I think we have to configure this git. So what we can do, git add hello.py. So it's added, git status, it's added. We can try to commit this file to our, first we will check on which branch are we. So we are on branch master, but here we are on main branch. So what we can do, we can fetch our main branch from there. Git fetch all. So we have fetched our main branch. Now we can check out main branch there. Okay, switch to new branch main. Now we can commit this file, git commit -m. First git, now because this file must not be there because that file was there. Okay, git, let's check git status, the very basic thing. Okay, git there, git commit -m, first commit. Okay, git push. It will ask my name, it will ask for a password. So I've pasted my password, GitHub token, and everything is configured now. So if you can track the remote repository that is there, it's here. So let's check if this committed something. Okay, hello.py is there. Now Git is tracking our repository. Suppose we want to add something here. Okay, maybe I will double this function. Instead of creating max, I will create min, min list, and here anything. So maybe sometimes we have multiple files and we don't know, when we try to erase it, it will it adds white spaces, and sometimes it creates merge conflicts. So it is a very PyCharm, it's a very beautiful function. You can click it here, you see this arrow, rollback lines here, rollback lines. So in this way you can directly are able to roll all the back changes before it's committed, or any white space, avoid any white space to be committed, so that it can create a conflict for other users. It's very helpful feature from PyCharm. So here we end this tutorial, and if there are many more lectures you want to have, then please comment, and then we can look into forward. Yeah, then till then, take care and goodbye.